Professional wrestling is a unique blend of athleticism and theatrics. While the action we see in the ring is scripted, the emotions behind it often aren't. Backstage politics, personal grudges, real injuries, and ego clashes have led to some of the most volatile moments in wrestling history, moments where the line between scripted entertainment and reality got seriously blurry. From shoot fights to walkouts and real-life tensions spilling into promos, here's a deep look at some of the WWE moments that got actually heated behind the scenes. The Montreal Screwjob, 1997. The Montreal Screwjob is arguably the most infamous backstage controversy in WWE history. At Survivor Series 1997, Bret, the Hitman Hart, was defending his WWE Championship against Shawn Michaels in his home country of Canada. Bret, who had signed with WCW but still held the WWF title, didn't want to drop the belt to Michaels, someone he had real-life issues with. Vince McMahon, fearing Bret would take the WWF title to WCW, made the decision to screw Bret without his knowledge. The match ended with Earl Hebner calling for the bell as Michaels locked in the sharpshooter, despite Bret not tapping out. Backstage, chaos erupted. Bret punched McMahon square in the face. Talent in the locker room was divided. It was betrayal at the highest level, and the real heat birthed the Mr. McMahon character and kick-started the Attitude Era. Brock Lesnar versus Chris Jericho 2016. At SummerSlam 2016, Brock Lesnar faced Randy Orton in a match that ended with Lesnar elbowing Orton's head open, legitimately busting him open and leaving him in a pool of blood. Chris Jericho, thinking the ending wasn't scripted and that Lesnar had gone too far, reportedly confronted Brock backstage. A shouting match ensued and nearly turned physical until it was broken up. Jericho was standing up for locker room respect. Lesnar, being Lesnar, didn't back down. It was a clash of two top stars, both believing they were protecting the business. Edge, Lita, and Matt Hardy Love Triangle 2005 and 2005. Real-life drama spilled into WWE programming when Lita began dating Edge while still involved with Matt Hardy. The affair became public, and WWE fired Hardy due to his outbursts on social media. Fan backlash was swift, and WWE rehired Hardy due to popular demand. They then turned the real-life situation into a storyline, one that was emotionally raw and hard to watch. Hardy and Edge had legit tension and brought real heat into their matches, stiffing each other in the ring. It's one of the few times where personal betrayal became part of the show, and the pain was very real. CM Punk versus WWE. Multiple instances. CM Punk has had a rocky relationship with WWE for years. It reached a boiling point in 2014 when he walked out the night after the Royal Rumble. Punk later aired his grievances on Colt Cabana's podcast, revealing deep frustrations about being forced to work injured, creative stifling, and disrespect from management. He claimed he was fired on his wedding day and openly criticized doctors and staff. WWE responded with legal action. This wasn't a storyline, it was personal, bitter, and marked the end of Punk's time with the company, until his shocking return in 2023. Sasha Banks and Naomi walk out 2022 during a live episode of Raw in 2022. Sasha Banks and Naomi, then WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, walked out of the arena due to creative disputes. WWE issued a rare statement during the show calling their actions unprofessional. Reports suggested they were frustrated with how the tag titles and women's division were being handled. The fallout was massive. They were stripped of the titles and suspended indefinitely. Sasha eventually left WWE entirely, re-emerging in NJPW and AEW as Mercedes Mon. Stone Cold walks out 2002 and 2002. Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out of WWE due to creative disagreements. The final straw? being booked to lose to Brock Lesnar in a random Raw match with no build. Austin felt the match should have been saved for a bigger stage and left the company without notice. Vince McMahon and The Rock publicly called him out on WWE programming. Austin later admitted it was a bad decision, though he was burned out and tired of being creatively disrespected. It took years for fences to mend, but it was a clear sign that even the biggest stars could break. Shawn Michaels vs. Bret Hart backstage fight. 1997, before the Screwjob, Bret and Shawn's tension was already boiling over. One of the most talked about altercations happened backstage in June 1997. After Shawn made a tasteless comment about Bret's family during a promo, the two got into a real backstage fight. Hair was pulled, punches were thrown, and Shawn reportedly stormed into Vince's office, declaring he was done. Their legitimate dislike made for electric TV, but the tension was as real as it gets. Becky Lynch vs. Charlotte Flair 2021 on SmackDown in October 2021. A segment where Becky and Charlotte were to swap titles due to the draft went off script, and things turned ugly. Charlotte reportedly dropped the title in a disrespectful way, leading to a confrontation backstage. Becky was furious, and it's said the two had a falling out in real life. Their Survivor Series match weeks later was hard-hitting and filled with real tension, both women working stiff and making fans wonder how much was real. The line between work and shoot in wrestling. The term shoot refers to something real as opposed to a work, a scripted moment. Some of the above incidents blurred those lines, and in some cases, used the tension to enhance storylines. But when the cameras are off and emotions boil over, we're reminded that this business, while scripted, is run by real people with real tempers, egos, and pride. Behind the glitz and glamour of WWE's global empire are real-life conflicts that have shaped careers and changed the course of wrestling history. Whether it's a backstage brawl, a creative clash, or personal betrayal, these moments remind us that the world of pro wrestling is as intense behind the curtain as it is inside the ring. Sometimes the real drama doesn't happen at WrestleMania. It happens behind the scenes.